Hey, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Nick.
We are working class nerds.
Cue the intro. That's right. We are Working Class Nerds, a podcast that gives you no information about your favorite information.
Today is Thursday, August 27th, 2020, and you can find us just hanging out podcast on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and now Spotify. I have to change that. Maybe I'll just say on all of the... No, because we're not on everything, I think. I don't know. Anyway,
I think we are on everything.
I have no idea.
I think it's close enough to where we can just say, hey, we're on everything. But speaking of being on everything, where can people find you on Twitch?
You can watch me Saturday and Sunday nights at twitch.tv/MarcusB814. You can also find the both of us on Twitter. I am at MarcusB814.
And I am at Nick Vern. That's NickVern. In this week's episode, we're talking about a mix of games that are out, games that we're looking forward to, and we're going to catch up in podcast.
What? Speaking of catching up, Nick, what have you been up to?
So, a few different things that I want to chat about today. I've been saying. Let me backtrack. I've been saying for a long time that I want to get the windows on my car tinted, because I've just got a little sedan Subaru and they're all clear windows, which I kind of hate. I like having a little bit of tint to them. And I finally went and did that today, and I got like these. They're not crazy dark, but they're really nice. So they're 35% regular legal, but they have this crazy like carbon fiber weaved into them somehow or something, where they block UV obviously, and then also infrared. So it's like blocks like 76% of the infrared, which that's relevant because that infrared is what heats up your car. So I have a black interior, and with the clear windows, it was like the inside of my car was a greenhouse in the summer. It was rough.
Okay.
But so now, A, I'll have a little bit of privacy. B, it'll be way cooler, which is pretty sweet. And it looks nice. It just like makes my car look less cheap, you know?
Sure. I think my truck doesn't have tinted. Oh, actually, yeah, the back two windows and the way back window in my truck is tinted. Yeah, I could never picture having that not tinted, because when like the sun's beating behind you, it's like blinding.
Exactly. So I had nothing tinted. So now I have the back window, whatever the opposite of the windshield is.
The back window.
The back
Idiot.
Well, whatever. That versus the anti-windshield.
The trunk window.
The trunk window. Hashtag trunk window. So I have that done. I have the two windows, in the back seat are done. I actually did the two driver and passenger side door windows as well. And then the windshield is clear, obviously, for fucking safety reasons. But I did a 6-inch, they call it a sun strip across the top, where it's comes 6 inches down from the windshield, and that's 5%. So it's crazy extra dark, which is really nice. So that's like,
well, it helps when the sun is beating in your eyes.
Yeah, when it's like in between, the sun's like in between your rearview mirror and the visor thing, and it's just like fucking annoying. And you're trying to tilt the visor like a certain way based on the bend in the road. You know what I mean? When it's like the fall or the winter and the sun's in that annoying spot in your eyes all the time.
Can we not talk about those two seasons, please?
Yeah, you mean 80% of the time in New England, it's just those two seasons. Right. So, anyways, that I'm pretty pumped that I got that done today. Also, Fantasy Premier League is starting.
What?
So have I talked about that on the podcast before?
I have no idea.
FPL.
I don't actually listen to what you say most of the time, unless it's something that like directly pertains to me, or it's something that you're doing shitty. That's when I really get involved. But I don't know if you've talked about it on the podcast, but you've talked to me about it on the phone 1,000 times.
Dude, I love FPL. FPL, just to run it through it one more time, it's fantasy soccer. So it's Fantasy Premier League. So specifically, it's the Fantasy English Premier League. So you have a budget of $100 million, and each player you got to field a full team. So a full team on the field plus a backup goalie and 3 subs on the bench. Um, it's yeah, and obviously players that cost more or that perform better cost more, and you have to balance it out. Almost like if you've ever played DraftKings, how you have to fill out a roster like that. It's like that,
Correct.
but but your roster carries over from one game week to the next. So it's like if DraftKings was like you you drafted your team and then you could only make one free transfer every week, which is interesting, and it has to match your budget still. So if you can make more than one free transfer a week, but any additional transfers outside of that are minus 4 points apiece. So for reference, if you have a player that just plays a full 90 minutes and doesn't do anything special, or doesn't get any yellow cards, that's 2 points. So basically, it's like the points of 2 players. Granted, if somebody scores a goal, that's like 6 points. So like taking a -4 for us to bring somebody in, you really want them to perform, to do something crazy in that match. Um, that's the gist of it. But it's exciting. It goes, almost the whole year, especially since they had to delay the season for COVID. It just ended before, and now the season's restarting in September now. So Al, friend of the show, Al, and I are super into it. He's the one that got me into it, and we're trying to rope Marcus into it because he's a big Arsenal fan. And it'll
I'm
make
gonna
you,
totally do it.
yeah, it makes you pay attention, even vaguely,
Or
to
just
the
have fun
the
and just
games.
pick random players and try to win with your rando players.
So it's perfect. I mean, I
Yeah.
think if we give you like some tips and tricks on like where to start, and then say like be free from there, I think that's better. I don't want you to like completely start out
Why?
the
I
lunch.
know. I just because I don't watch it doesn't mean I don't follow it.
I know, but like I'd like to
No.
help you a little bit.
Nope. I don't want your pity help.
Well, whatever. It's not pity
Okay.
help.
Okay. Okay. But can we just sidebar this real quick?
Yeah.
So Al, friend of the show, we were just talking about.
Yep.
For years, he's been talking about getting a PC.
Oh, I forgot. I know.
Yes. So he messaged me a while ago, like a couple months ago, and was like, "Hey, what do these specs mean for a computer?" And I was like, "Whoa, something pretty dope. Why?" He goes, "Those are the required, like the recommended requirements, or like, I don't know. It was like the max requirements to play Microsoft's new flight simulator game, Flight Simulator 2020."
Right.
So I was like, wow, that is ridiculous specs to play.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, so a month later, he sends me, he tells me his budget, and I said, we can totally build a computer. His words were, can we build the computer that's going to be able to handle that game? I said, not for that amount of money. You're going to need to spend like 3,500. So then he sends me back. He goes, I bought a computer. I was like, you did? And I was expecting like parts. He's like, nope. He sends me this Alienware thing. Dude, he spent so much money. I'm not even going to say it. Like, the computer is legit. Like, he went to called Alienware and was like, I want the dopest dope of the dope computer. Please
Right.
send that to me.
Yeah. The dopest thing you could possibly make. I don't care what you have to do. Get some real alien technology in there that is in Area 51. Put it in that thing and ship it to me. I'll pay
Yeah,
for it.
exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. So, exactly. The only, he bought a pretty good video card. I think he bought a 2080 Ti, which
Yep.
is the top of the line now, but it sucks because in a couple months the new cards are coming out, but whatever.
Yeah,
It's
you can
still
always
going to kick
upgrade
ass.
later.
Right. Well,
It'll
you're not going to have to upgrade that card for a couple years. So,
100%. Yeah.
in watching what video games are doing, like my computer has been awesome for like 4 years, right?
Yep.
But now I can start to see where my computer is not up to 2020 standards. It's
Right.
more like a 2018 standard. Like I have a high-end 2018 computer, not a high-end 2020 computer.
Right.
So I've been checking out this flight sim game, and I've actually been watching some random people play it on Twitch, and that game breaks computers.
Oh, yeah, it's a completely realistic flight simulator. Like
Dude.
if you put it on the max, it's like exactly like flying an airplane. All the buttons do the same things, everything. All the physics
Well,
are in there.
yes, that, but like the graphics, like when you're flying above North Dakota and all the fields, like it looks like you're really flying over North Dakota for real.
Yeah, like all the maps are legit. I've seen a bunch of people post on Reddit like I found my house in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yes.
I don't know if they're using Google Earth or whatever, but it's
I don't know,
insane.
dude. It's the craziest looking game I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Like they don't have to worry about people at all. It's just an airplane and graphic and land. That's it. That's all I
yeah,
have to worry about. There's no people in it.
right.
Dude, I've been blown away. There was one where they went to the pyramids of Egypt and you could see the deterioration of the pyramids like you're there.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I'm curious about that game. I may buy it just to see what my computer can play it at
Right.
because I feel like if that's the new benchmark of games, like video like games, like the best game, like years ago Crisis
Yeah, I saw a meme with that actually. I sent it to Al earlier. I'll send it to you now.
of what?
Like 2010 versus 2020. Like, oh, can it play this? And it was Crisis, and now it's this flight sim.
Right, exactly. And I feel like I have to do it just to test my computer to see what it can play at.
Yeah, you 100% should.
Anyway, so sorry for that sidebar. Congratulations, Al, on your new PC. I will see you in SOTOR soon.
Oh yes, we'll rope him in, and then we'll bring him on the show. So
And just for the record, I have a feeling that he's going to fall in love with that game.
I think whatever we got to make sure that's the first MMO that he sinks his teeth into. Because if he
Yeah,
plays anything else, whatever the first one is, he's gonna be hooked.
right.
He's gonna run a whole guild. It's gonna be half Bulgarian people, half American.
Anyway, sorry for the sidebars.
We're back at the ranch. So also, this was supposed to tie in with my soccer thing from before, but Messi wants to legitimately leave Barcelona, which is insane news if you're a soccer fan. He's super unhappy with how the club has been being run for the past few years, and he's just like not getting a lot of help from people around him and the organization. And even though they pay him a preposterous amount of money, he's like, screw it. I have a clause in my contract that I can activate, and so I'm gonna. And his target, I guess the club he wants to play for, unfortunately, is Manchester City. But that only makes sense because they're one of the only clubs that could actually afford to pay him his preposterous £980,000 or sorry, 980,000 euro a week salary. Yes, you heard me correctly. It's almost $1 million, more than
I
$1 million a week as a salary.
I don't feel bad for him. Like the thing
No,
for me is like you can't get paid $1 million a week and expect your club to buy you support.
yeah,
They're
but
but they
there's no cap though.
I understand, but there's only so much money.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying they don't have it, but like if they're spending $1 million a week on this guy, they still have to roster everybody else. You know
right,
what I mean? It's the old saying like take a little less money so you can win. Don't pull a Peyton Manning and go for the max contract and wonder why you lose every year.
right. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Pull a Brady until your last year playing and make the money. I get it. But
right.
like Messi, so the organization, yes, they may be like a shitty organization, but what can their hands might be tied. Now,
Right.
if he said, "Hey guys, I'll take, you know, 10 million a week less or
10 million a year
500
less.
200 no or like $200,000 less a year a week so you guys can get some other players in here. Let's do this. Let's win."
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I I feel bad, but I also don't feel bad. The other thing is, so there's activating the clause. Somebody said that how funny would it be if Barcelona flexed their muscles and sent them to an American team? Because essentially, if they can send him wherever he wants.
Yeah.
He doesn't have say. He has a trade clause, but he actually doesn't have say. So if an American team said, "Hey, we'll pay that money and some," there it is.
Yeah, but there's no American teams that have that
No, of
much
course
money.
not. But I think it would be I think it would be a big Willie move to do it.
That would be hilarious. No, I think it's the two big ones are Paris Saint Germain, or I definitely fucked that up. Paris Saint Germain in my American accent. PSG, and then Man
Mm-hmm.
City. And Man U are kind of, I guess, supposedly have the money for it, but they're not. The two big ones are PSG and Man City.
So as long as Manchester United or Liverpool doesn't get them, I'm happy with it. I could care less who gets them.
Such a frick.
No way. Liverpool doesn't need it, and our
No, they would never.
Man U can just go jump off a cliff.
I
Ugh.
do not like Man U.
Like that's like liking the Yankees, right?
Exactly.
Manchester United is like the Yankees to me.
100%. That's a great
Bleh,
analogy.
bleh.
Yeah.
So
It's
anyway,
hard to, I don't know about like an analogy just for Manchester City because they weren't very good for a long time, and then they got
no,
bought by
they're
like Saudi oil people, and then
right,
princes or something, whatever the title might be. I don't actually know,
and they
but
spend money.
they spent a gazillions of dollars and they built the team up, and then they have so the big draw for Man City I think is A, they have the money to pay Messi for sure. B, Pep Guardiola, the coach, he used to coach Barcelona years ago, and then left Barcelona just because he wanted to try a different team, which was Man City. So he's already coached Messi and they got along, so there's a connection there as well. But what were you gonna say?
Nothing. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So I think that's all about the Messi thing. If Messi came into FPL, he would have to be like 14 million or 15 or something like that. Preposterous. Because even his worst, some of his worst seasons, like in La Liga, so like the Spanish league, would set the record for most fantasy points in FPL ever.
Sure.
Which is just crazy. But
Yep.
so in video game news, I played a little bit more of the Outer Worlds, but I didn't make like too much progress. I played like a few hours of it. Um just sort of more exploring, just finishing quests. I'm almost done with one of my companion quests, which is cool. I'll be able to max out that companion afterwards. That's about it there. Nothing too crazy. I haven't like really progressed the story far. I'm just cleaning up quests because I have like 20 open right now. Um, also, we're gonna talk about Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War later. But seeing the trailer and stuff has made me want to go back and play the original just so that I can like get back into that story and lore and that mindset of being
Yep.
back in the day. And I found out today that Cold War is a direct story sequel to the original Black Ops.
Which is legit.
That's really cool. And well, I'll save that part for later. Anyways,
So
Marcus,
just wait, just for the record, I started downloading Call of Duty Black Ops 1 right now. I paused it because we're recording, but it is ready to go.
okay, I'm definitely gonna do the
But
same.
I'm looking at the picture of the graphics. It doesn't look too good.
Well, yeah, how old is that game? When did that come out? I'm googling it right now. Call of Duty Black Ops, the original.
On November 9th, 2010.
There's a 10-year-old game. Oh my god, they made it for the Nintendo DS at some point.
Wow. I feel I feel so old, dude.
Oh my god, me too.
Do
I
people still play this game?
I don't think
How many?
so. Maybe
Go
people
ahead.
went back and started playing, but
Like, no, I want to know. Sorry.
listeners,
Oh, 766 people are in game right now.
perfect. That's definitely enough for some uh team
Oh,
deathmatch.
let's. I'm gonna. If that's the case, let's see. This is complete sidebar action. This is what happens.
This is the sidebar episode. This is what happens when you don't have a guest. Marcus and I go off on tangents.
All right, I'm going to the community hub. Whoa! Right now, SOTOR has 8,962 players online just on Steam. Pretty
Damn,
sweet.
that's sweet.
Pretty sweet. Anyway.
So, it's
Yeah.
your turn, big guy. What have you been up to this week? Inhaling?
No, I'm trying to like decide what I want to talk about.
Oh,
Okay. SOTOR stuff. Death Star Troopers beat Aveli and Esne, the
what
second
up?
bosses of hard mode Gods from the Machine. Huge win for us. Huge, like huge. It's super. I'm excited for it. We've worked really hard at it. It was like a 3-week prog on just that boss. It was fun to do. And we actually, it was pretty fun last week. So I had 2 people that wanted to try out for the team. Actually, I have 3. And so one person left the team. and so I had one tryout already going, and then another member was going to miss due to work. So because of that, we had another fill in. So the two fill ins were trying out at the same time. So it was like almost like a double tryout,
That's pretty sweet.
which was really sweet. So I have one of the people coming back this week, and then I'll have the other one come back next week because when they're when when two people are subbing, you're not really seeing their gameplay really.
Right.
So like, and one of the tryouts was not doing the actual job that they were actually going to be doing. So it's kind of hard to make that decision. So anyway, so we got still 2 more weeks of tryouts, which is good. Um, Sidebar,
Mm-hmm.
I so originally the Marcus logo um for Twitch was going to be something different.
Yes.
And then
Something
I got
something different but epic.
oh yeah, it was called the Green Reaper. It's dope. The logo is so dope.
It almost looks
And
like a stylized version of Doctor Doom,
yes,
sort of.
like a Doctor Doom meets Darth Malgus.
Right. That's a great way to put it.
So anyway, so the logo's so awesome, and I've had it, and I forgot about it because I eventually made my own logo because I wanted my logo for streaming to be more like me in my life. So anyway, long story short, I have this logo, and I found it today, and there's a good chance that I'm going to be starting um, a hard mode ops team, another one. Um,
Okay. And they're going to be the Green Reapers.
yes,
What? That's a great idea.
yep. Um, I don't know if it's going to be like a hard mode. Like, don't quote me on this. I don't know if it's going to be like a hard mode training. I don't know if it's going to be a true hard mode team. I don't know. Like, I haven't decided yet on how serious it's going to be. Um, because when doing a hard mode or a nightmare mode team, it's really hard because, like, it's all about the numbers, right? If you're a DPS, you need to do the numbers and you do need to do DPS mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Healers need to heal and do their mechanics. Tanks need to tank and do the mechanics and run the fight.
Right.
So so essentially it's not just anybody can go in there and do it. And yes, if it's progression, people have to learn, but at some point hard decisions need to be made and those decisions suck.
Yeah.
They're really hard. And the reason why I believe that is happening because, and I'm talking about it, is because I actually believe I'm on the cusp of getting kicked off a team.
Okay. Because you're
And
not.
I don't mean, and it's not a negative thing at all, right?
Yeah.
It's just, so my Saturday night team, we're doing Nightmare Explosive Conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like, I always take the full brunt of the reason why things are going wrong. And we're on the second boss, and I'm having a hard time staying alive.
Yeah.
And then last week on Saturday, I had some real life stuff come up, and I had to leave during raid, like emergency level stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so when I left, they had somebody sub in, and they got to within 3% of the fight. And of course, immediately I'm like, well, I suck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And shout out to Chaos. He helped me out a lot this week, explaining to me like the mechanics and moves that I do because I really am a new tank at the start of 6.0. Like,
Yeah.
yes, that's back in October, but before that, I never did it. Didn't know anything. Like, anyway, so where I've come is pretty good. And I'm just curious if am I at my plateau and I'm like really second guessing myself right now?
Mm-hmm.
And I love the team. They're all nice to me. You know, they talk shit, but that's
Standard issue.
expected. Yeah, that's an expected thing in that type of content. When you're in the
Yeah.
hardest content, there's going to be shit talking.
Right. Of course.
Um, but the hard part for me is everybody on the team has all these clears. Like they all have the achievements for all these bosses, and
Mhm.
I'm the only one that doesn't. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm always saying it's my fault we're not winning.
I see what you're saying because you're the
Y-
least experienced on the team.
Correct.
Yeah. Or
And
at least the
and
complex,
I'm
I should say, anyway.
and I'm not saying that I'm going to get kicked off the team tomorrow or they're going to ask me to, but like it's in my head and like you can hear frustration and like it really messes with me. And
Yeah.
I'm talking about it on the show, but like I'm so I'm committed to it and I want to be better. And like when I die and I hear frustration, it like automatically weighs on my shoulder. And I know I need thicker skin because like I'm like, whatever, I'm learning. And I say that, but at some point, when does it
Like start to affect you.
correct?
And almost that
Um,
negativity, or at least the feeling of it, can become sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy where it starts because you are feeling down about it, it can make you lose. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Or perform poorly, I should say.
And just sidebar, I bit my tongue when I was eating a slice of pizza today, dude, or tonight for dinner. Dude, my tongue is killing me. I like chomped it off like it was a milk bone. You know what I mean? Oh my god. And no, I have never. Well, no, that's not true. I definitely tried a milk bone. Anyway,
It's okay. I have to.
I think everybody has.
You have to. They're like, why do the dogs like this so much? And then you take a bite and you're like, well,
And
these
you're like, oh,
fucking
that's
suck.
fucking gross.
Yeah.
Anyways, so here's the craziest news. So I have an idea.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a third stream every week.
Okay.
I don't know the day yet, but I am going to do that third night is going to be like bonus night, and I'm going to play a different game every week. So I'm looking at my Steam library right now on my other computer, and there's a lot of games that I've never played ever,
Not even once?
not even once.
You never even played one time?
Nope. Like I don't even know what Life is Strange. I'm looking at that. Or Thief. Um
Thief is like a sort of kind of
Pat
platformer.
Path of Exile.
I
No
have
idea.
no idea what that is.
Yeah, yeah. I'm scrolling down some other ones. I almost said Bioshock, but I love that.
I
Borderlands 3
love
I've never played.
Borderlands.
I'd like to play Crisis again. Maybe even what if I played Half-Life and Half-Life 2? You know what I mean? The graphics are probably going to be tough. The Metro series, Red Faction Guerrilla, like Red Orchestra. I have no idea what that game is. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah,
I have
definitely.
so many games that like I have no idea about that yeah.
That you
Or
need to
even
dive into.
Right, or even Grand Theft Auto 5. Like so anyway, I've just mentioned some. So this week I've played a shit ton of games.
Just trying to get
Uh
through the Steam library.
well, just playing different games. Like why not? Anyway, so the original Mafia and Mafia 2, I love. They're like a Grand Theft Auto sandbox but with a toned down version of Grand Theft Auto. It's you know what I mean? It's got an awesome story because you're all like mafia. It's hey, the gabagool, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
or what I don't even know. I don't know what they say. I'm not a good mobster. But anyway, so like the newest one, I don't know when it came out. I'm gonna click on it. It came out. Store page, sidebar.
Mafia 3.
Mafia 3. Oh, it came out May 19th, 2020. What?
Yeah, Mafia 3 just came out. I remember talking about it on the show. You're like, dude, we should play that. And then we never did.
It no way. Oh no, see this is the Mafia Definitive Edition. This is
Oh,
not
okay.
the original one. Yeah, it came out last year or the year before.
Oh, okay. Well, we definitely talked about it on here on Working Class Nerds.
Sure. So anyway, so I started playing that and it reminded me of how good that the original like number 2 was. Like I really liked number 2. When I was playing number 2, I started playing it and I didn't stop. I played it every day until I beat it.
Wow.
Other games I played this week, I played Destiny 2. I did a I don't know what they're called. It's like the equivalent of a Star Wars Flashpoint. I don't know what it's called, but I did it. I queued with some random people. I told them that I've never done it before. They were like, "That's fine, just follow us." It was fun. I had fun doing it. Um, Heavy Rain is a life simulation, I guess. Like every action you make, and you dictate that game. Um, forget who makes it. Shit. Uh,
Something with an H, I think.
hold on. I forget.
Is it
No, it's
Machine
like
Games?
Quantic Games. Quantic Games. Uh, who's it made by? Yeah, Quantic Dream or Quantic Dream. So anyway, so I played that back when it was like on the PlayStation 3. And
Yeah.
the game was so good because the origami killer. Anyway, I played that. Um, I dipped a little bit, only like 10 minutes into the New World game, the new Amazon MMO. So I don't really have much to talk about with that because I just did it. The other one I've actually been interested in getting because I haven't bought one in 2 years, I think. I think FIFA 18 was the last one I bought.
Mm-hmm.
And I still play it every now and again, like one quick game. But I think I'm gonna buy FIFA 21 just because. And I should say this. I'm 100% going to buy it if they release it on Steam, which I heard it's coming out. I heard all new EA games will be released on Steam on launch. If that's the case, then I will buy it. Um, Pretty much fact right there. So,
I
anyways,
think you should.
well, I will. Um, in SOTOR news.
In SOTOR News, we got a message from Keith Koenig, uh, which is kind of long. He put it really eloquently, but I'm going to do the cliff notes of it. Basically, he was talking about. He started off saying that he's pumped about the Steam release, how they brought a lot of new players to Star Wars: Old Republic, but now that they have a lot of new players, they've sort of changed their philosophy on some of the bot accounts that are in the game. So he said that they're cracking down on these bot accounts that are designed just to trade credits, so the in-game currency for real money. They'll be he call references them as credit sellers. He basically just details how they used to sort of think of it as like, oh, no harm no foul, they're not hurting anybody, like if they're just on these planets and sort of spamming in the chat, it's not a big deal. But now they've changed, like, okay, well, now with all these new people here, we should really crack down on these accounts, and they've banned like tens of thousands of accounts, he said recently. And that's basically how they're continuing to monitor these accounts and try to crack down on them more, like going forward as well. That's all. Just saying, just trying to clean up the game a little bit, basically.
Sure, I've always seen them, but I always wondered is if you go to one of these websites, right? And you actually buy credits from them, do you actually get the credit or is it a scam?
Right. That I don't know.
So, in my opinion, it's got to be legit if they keep doing it. Because if they were in there and it was a complete scam, then I'm guessing like it would be like police involved.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I
If
mean?
they must actually give you the credits, otherwise there's no. Otherwise, it would be like a crime for real.
Right. And if you're gonna sell credits, like I get it. And a free to play, this is why a lot of games don't want to be free to play because you're gonna get these type of accounts.
Right.
But because if it's buy to play, they actually have to buy it and then do it. So like the devs are winning automatically. Where in this game you can create 1,000 characters, go to the starter planet, and just keep spamming. You know,
That your
um,
message or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, your message. Oh, join, join. And if you get kicked out, you delete the character and you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And eventually they'll ban your IP, and then you change your IP.
Right.
There's clearly a business.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. That there's like whole farms of these accounts, I guess, that they were trying to ban. But anywho,
And so the nightlife event is over.
dun dun
We're gonna,
dun.
yeah, I'm gonna give a quick moment of silence for the nightlife event. I didn't gamble 1 minute of one day. I kept putting it off. So there's a running joke because of Max and Seema's podcast that is the nightlife still an event going on? Because a couple of years ago they asked if the nightlife event was still going on, and it was over like 3 months prior. And we're like, really? Oops. And it's like been a constant joke in the guild. So I've actually embraced that part of it in the sense of I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. But in my laziness of putting it off, I missed the whole event. Um, I didn't gamble once.
Yeah.
and I got a bunch of these chips and tokens and all that stuff that I need to do it, but I didn't use it once. So 2020, I'll see you in the casino. In AIE news,
In AIE news, Friday. That's right, this Friday.
which
Uh,
is August 28th, 2020. So you're probably going to be listening to this podcast
on
on the day it's what's happening that day.
Mega. That's the monthly Epic Guild activity, which this month involves Datacrons and World Bosses.
Yeah. And every single Tuesday is mandatory fun nights where the fun is mandatory, but attendance is not. Happens 9 p.m. Eastern, which is the correct time zone, Max. And it's hosted by B Cavs, friend of the show. So if you want to have some fun on an open guild night, come Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern.
That's always fun. Hey, what happens every other Friday?
So we have Friday Flashpoint Fridays or Flashpoint Fridays. Oops. So Mal, friend of the show, he hosts Flashpoint Friday. They do master mode flashpoints to earn the Air Attack Ice Mount. So there's a mount you can earn by doing certain master mode flashpoints, and once you do them, you earn a pretty sweet mount. So every other Friday, it won't be this Friday; it will be next Friday.
And if all this sounds fun to you, go to aie-guild.org, jump in the Discord, and ask for a guild invite. Whether or not you play Star Wars: The Old Republic or any of the other games that we play, we'd love to have you. And we mean any of the other games. If you play Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, or if you're going to, I should say, we can get a whole guild going. Marcus just had a whole revelation. You can always have a squad for Call of Duty Cold War.
Yep.
Well, that's it for the first half. I have to use the restroom as per usual. Marcus, are you ready to take a break?
Yep.
We'll be right back.
Jeez, Nick, hurry up. We're trying to finish this podcast.
And we're back. So today we're discussing games, and more games, and some gaming news, basically. Marcus, what do you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about the New World preview that's going on right now. So, New World is a sandbox MMO, complete open world that is the production company or the dev company is Amazon Game Studios. So, it's Amazon's big MMO that they've been working on for years. And they finally have a NDA preview going on. So I've played in 2 of their alphas, which was under NDA, and I couldn't talk about it. But now
What?
that it's yeah,
You didn't even
I
tell
couldn't.
me.
Nope, I
That's
didn't
the
tell anybody
that's the world's
because
greatest NDA.
yep. Well, you know what it was is I played it and I wasn't super impressed,
Yeah.
and so I was like, and then by the time I talked to you 2 or 3 days later, I just forgot because the alphas were like over a weekend. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So originally the game was pure PvP. Like the second you land on start the game, you could be ganked by somebody, which I'm not a big PvPer in that sense. Like I want to be able to choose to do my PvP. I don't want to just be ganked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
So in this process, they've changed the game to be PvE and then PvP areas, or you flag yourself for PvP and then it's on. So the preview is going on right now. NDAs have been lifted. Twitch streamers are streaming it. People are talking about it. And believe it or not, the game looks pretty good. The game is tough. It's got, from what everybody I've seen says, it's, you can definitely die by mobs killing you if you're not careful.
Okay.
And the combat is a little bit different. I think it needs a little bit more refining, which that's fine because it's just a beta preview. It's not even the real beta.
Mm-hmm.
So, like in a sense, you could call it beta 1, but it's definitely good. I think it's good.
So our next point is we want to talk about Fall Guys.
Oh man,
So I played a game. So I don't. I haven't actually played Fall Guys, but I've obviously seen people playing it. I thought it was from the same company that did Gang Beasts a while ago because the animations look similar, but it's not. It looks like it's a different game, but
I
it
don't
looks
know
fun.
who I don't know who does it, but I know I've watched people playing it and like the rage. Like it's a true competition and it's such a basic system where you just don't want to fall. And you want to win so you can go to like the next round. And it's super uber competitive, but it's also like so janky that like your movement, it's not good movement. It's super quirky. You know what it reminds me of is do you remember that show? Oh my god. It was like an action show, but
Oh,
it was like dubbed English. It was like an old Japanese
yes.
like game show,
Yeah,
but
it was
they
like when,
dubbed
yes, and they made an American version. It was Knockout is the American version, but I forgot what the Japanese show was, and they would just like they had
no,
these
it wasn't called Knockout. No.
no, they
No,
made an
before
American.
that.
I know.
Yeah, they made an American version of it, but there was the Asian version.
I think it was
Uh
Japanese specifically.
okay,
I think
so
you were
you're
right in
right.
saying that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it was Japanese. It was the Japanese version, but they English dubbed it, and the words they were saying had nothing to do with the actual words of the whole thing. They
Yes,
completely botched it. Like some a guy would come out and he would put his arm up, like he's like, I can do it, and they would say, I fart a lot. You know what
right.
I mean? It was what was that show called?
Oh, I don't
It's gonna
remember.
kill me. Uh don't get eliminated.
Yeah, it
Shit.
was almost like it was
Anyways,
like bad lip reading combined with like a knockout style show. It was
yes.
wicked funny.
Yeah, wicked funny. And people got fucked up. Like they would get crushed by stuff and their body would fold in half and you'd be like, "Ooh." In the English dubbed version, they'd be like, "Look at her, looks like a pretzel."
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Oh, dude, I died. So that's what Fall Guys reminds me of.
I found it. Hey, I found it. So it's and I was thinking of Wipeout is the American version, not Knockout. Um,
Okay.
so the Japanese version was Most Extreme Elimination Challenge,
Yes. Yes. Oh my god, dude. That like that
MXC.
yeah, MXC, yeah, dude. Like, everybody's gonna think I'm just an idiot, but that show was quality TV. Like that to me is a quality made TV show. Somebody took something that was hilarious to start with, took out the language that they speak, and then just made up whatever they were doing. It was like the new age mystery science theater,
Exactly. Oh my god,
dude. Oh my god.
it was
Don't
awesome.
get eliminated. And oh my god, dude. Oh. So that's Fall Guys. Um, I am probably gonna get it at some point. Maybe I will download it and play it one of my rando game nights
Yeah.
because I'm finding that I'm at a point now where if I'm not rating in SOTOR, and I'm gonna say it, I have been playing my agent story because I do want to get to legendary status.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at the same time, like some days I just don't want to play SOTOR, and it's hard for me to log into a different game. So I think if I'm playing something new every week, I'm gonna enjoy it. The other thing I do have to finish, and I know I do, is I have to finish Fallen Order. Like I have to. Um,
You definitely need to. That's
yeah,
mandatory.
and like and the story is so good. I just again, I'm really I'm really a game. I like linear gameplay. Like I like some open world, but like I don't want to guess to where I have to go. Like just say you have to go here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it is pretty linear. You just got to solve a few puzzles and then you're there.
Yeah, and
I mean, it gets a little more complicated in the later planets, but you can figure it out. You'll be fine.
sure. Yeah.
Just suck it up and keep playing.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay. Um.
So Marcus is pretty grumpy about this next game. Uh,
What game is it?
the new Avengers game that's going to be a
Oh yeah.
PlayStation exclusive.
Oh, that's so dumb. Okay, Sony. I understand why you're doing it. You think making a PlayStation exclusive, people are going to buy your systems. And sure, some do, right? No question, some do. But why not release it on the PC as well? Like the PC players aren't buying a PlayStation anyways. Like I don't own a PlayStation. I
Yeah,
have no
that's true.
need for one. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm sure some do because they care. Some people do because they care about like those games and they want to play them. But for me, I'm like, just release it on the PC. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's not. I can understand why you don't want it on the Xbox, right?
Yeah,
I
because they're a direct
understand.
competitor. Sure.
Yes, they're a direct competitor in the console war, but at the same time, it's so dumb. The game looks good. I want to play it, but I'm not going to. And there is a game. I think it's called Horizon Zero Dawn. Is
That's
that
the
the
first
game?
one. Yep.
Yep. So they released that on the PC,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess there's a big patch coming to fix some of the bugs. But once that happens, that's a game I'm probably going to play because that game looks super dope, and it should be on a PC. Everybody knows a PC is better than graphics wise. The way the games run always performs on a PC better than a console. Don't care what anybody says. The frame rates, everything. Games are better on a PC than a console. So why not just release it on a console?
I'm
I
totally
mean,
with you.
on a
It's
PC.
it's totally just to get people to buy a PlayStation.
Yep.
Even if it's not one title, if it's all their exclusives, like eventually they add up to all the motivation from all of them adds up to make people just be like, screw it, I'll just buy a PlayStation.
Right.
You know?
That's correct. So now on the flip side, I love the Xbox. I like the Xbox interface. I like the controller for the Xbox. That is my true blue console system. I understand what everybody says about the PlayStation exclusives, and I do agree, but the PlayStation controller is terrible next to the Xbox. It
Fair
is
enough.
not in comparison. The Xbox controller fits your hands, unless you have small hands or you're weird. You like the PlayStation controller. I just don't find it to be nearly as comfortable as the Xbox.
Yeah.
Maybe this new DualSense 5 controller because it looks bigger to mimic more of like the original Xbox controller
Yeah.
in a way. Like it still has that skinny center of the controller to mirror like the PlayStation controller, but the wings on it are definitely big like the original Xbox controller. So clearly they're realizing that their controller sucks and they have to modify it. But at the same time, where Xbox is screwing up is Nick, if you had to think about what is Xbox's number one game, or like what's the first game you think of when you think of Xbox?
Halo.
Thank you. The new system is coming out this fall, and it is not releasing
A
with
Halo
the
with it.
Halo title.
Ugh.
And yeah, when they announced that the new Halo Infinite isn't going to be ready, and I understand console wars and like they need to release at the same time. I get it. I do because Xbox can't afford to lose like they lost this time with PlayStation 4. But
Right.
Xbox 360 came out first and they won. But I can get into my opinions on the console war really quick after this comment. Xbox should delay the release of their new system so it can release with the Halo Infinite.
I don't think Halo's that big of a deal.
But they don't have any other
Titles.
next gen titles to release with the system. Like exclusive. Like
Yeah.
people like me, I fucking love Halo story. I don't like the multiplayer was fun back in the day, but it's not my type of multiplayer anymore.
Right.
But I love the actual storyline of Halo, like aliens invade Earth and all of the Earth planets, and here comes the Space Marines with the super soldier Captain America type to come save the day.
Right.
I like the story of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe because I've been playing since Halo 1, so I'm like attached to it, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, to release the new system without that title
Yeah. It
kind of
it feels
it
wrong.
feels like it's just a console release for nothing.
right.
Because all the games you're going to get on launch are going to be available on the PlayStation. Where
Right.
PlayStation exclusive PlayStation 5 games are going to be released on launch.
Right.
So, Xbox, you're messing this one up. And I'm trying to figure out if Microsoft, I should say, even cares anymore about the Xbox.
I don't
What
think
I mean is
they care tremendously about it.
like I think they're doing it just to do another one. But what I've noticed about Xbox is, or Microsoft, sorry, is they're really pushing for the PC, Xbox all crossplay. And I feel like all Xbox One X games, the new system, are all going to be available on the Microsoft Store. And I'm a Microsoft PC player. Like I play on a PC, I do not play on a Mac. So like that's a launcher that I would get for games. I would definitely get the Microsoft Game Store. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As well as Steam versus like Origin is just terrible. But I'm not forced to buy the Xbox One X. That's why I think they're not. They don't. They're trying to like they're trying to get the PC players to come play their game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but I still think they're messing up by Halo Infinite, and shame on the devs. Like I'm not a dev. I don't know what it takes to make a game, but this game should have been ready for launch no matter what. Hire
Yeah.
more help.
Yeah. Make it priority one to have it ready to rock.
Priority one. Halo, you would have had a chance to win the console war if it was released.
If
at
Halo
launch.
was ready, if Halo was
Yep.
ready at launch.
So, you want to talk about the next game?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Breath of the Wild 2? I don't have a whole lot to. I don't know if there's new. I haven't seen any new news about it.
So, I was reading an article talking about it, and they like there's no official news, but this person says that his source works for Nintendo and he's one of the devs on the game,
Mm-hmm.
and they said it's really close to being done.
Whoa! Already?
And well, they're saying 2021.
Oh, right. Yeah.
No, now it might come out at Christmas time 2021,
Right.
but in game development, when you're within a year, that's close to being released.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Okay.
You know, and what I am excited for it, and it makes me want. I have to beat the original one. Is that now? You know, this one could be really dark, and I'm curious because they're saying the new Switch is coming out in holiday season or first quarter of 2021.
That would be cool if it came out and then that would timetable sort of make sense to have the new Switch come out and then like the following holiday season have Breath of the Wild come out. Boom.
Or it's a launch title.
I don't know if it'd be ready that quick though.
I don't know. Nobody knows. Like Nintendo is a lot like Blizzard
Yeah.
in the sense of they don't say much. You know what I
Well,
mean?
Until Boomba, here's your game.
Right. I'm pretty excited for the launch of the new Switch because they're saying it's going to be 1080p. They're saying 120 frames, but I don't see how that's going to be possible. I foresee 1080p 60 frames
Yeah.
on the Switch screen, which would be sweet. But at the same time, you know, are you going to buy a new Switch if it's basically the exact same everything except, you know, better graphics or resolution? I don't know if I would buy one for that.
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
You know what I mean? If it has a better processor and a better chip in it or something, sure. Then I would. And now we're talking because it's going to run better or better battery life.
Yeah, that's always the pain in the ass with the Switch is the battery life. But
Yeah, because like if you're playing it by hand, you're going to play for like 2 hours and it dies without it plugged in.
right. Yeah.
And I hope they fix like the plugs on it. All plugs should be on the top of it.
Oh
that
my
get
god.
wired in.
I know. It's so annoying because
It
you
is.
can't, you
And
can't like rest it on anything when it's charging outside of the
Right.
dock.
right. Last thing or one of the last things, unless we go into something, I've been watching a lot of Dr. Disrespect. I know that sounds so cliche, right? But
No?
I've been watching his stream. Dude, he bought a $350,000 PC.
How is it that expensive?
I just think it's everything you can imagine with all the screens and everything that he's doing. Like I've never seen a streamer do what he's doing. Like he's made his own ecosystem inside his stream.
Wow.
And like everything is based off of the arena. And like if you join his if you subscribe, you're a part of the Champions Club. Anyways, and I guess I just like the I just like the story of a guy getting kicked off Twitch. He says he doesn't know. He absolutely knows why. He just can't talk about it because of the lawyer stuff
Right.
going on, clearly. But at the same time, like, I like a guy that, like, if he didn't do something wrong and it's kind of a bullshit ban, and the guy is emerging on YouTube getting hundreds of thousands of views, like, dude,
Good for you.
congratulations. Yeah, good for you. You're figuring it out. And
Right.
he said something today about streaming. And I only watched his stream for like 10 minutes today when I was eating my lunch.
Yeah.
And he said something about his advice about streaming games. Because people in his chat are like, hey, come play Escape from Tarkov with me.
Yeah.
And he actually stops and he says something about it. And he goes, look, I can come play Tarkov tomorrow or today, right now. But everything that can happen in Tarkov has already happened.
Right.
Some streamer has already played Tarkov and done it.
Right.
He's like, so for me, if I want to bring you guys quality content, I want to bring you games that are current that not everybody has done.
Yeah.
And I want to try all these new games. He goes, and that's what I want to do. And it made a lot of sense. That's great advice.
Yeah.
You're never go ahead.
Unless you're like playing a brand new story based game, it's not like something that just came out, then you're sort of going through old content. So like you want to almost have like a twofer on the new content. You have your performance, and how you interact with the stream and all that stuff is obviously content. But then also
Right.
the game you're playing is like a twofer content. So if you're cutting out 50% of that because by playing for hit in this example Tarkov that people already know what happens in it, then you're losing 50% of your content per for however long you're playing that game. So it's definitely a valid point. And I would have not have thought of that.
Right. And I'll put this on me. Like, I feel like an MMO is different than those games.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So like the SOTOR community is awesome. They support me. Like, I've said this a million times. Like, I can't thank them enough. The
Mhm.
people that come to my stream and say hi and follow me and all that stuff, it means so much, right? But at the same time now, you have like these games, and if you're starting to stream and Call of Duty Warzone comes out and you're a brand new streamer, like, yeah, you're playing the new game, but you're going to be like, I forget. I looked earlier, and I think there was like 100,000 people watching people play Call of Duty. I'm loading in right
Yeah, I mean, Call of Duty's a little different though, because if you're playing Warzone or multiplayer or something, like,
Dude,
what
now.
happens?
239,000 people are watching people play this
Call of
game.
Duty.
Yeah. This guy's doing a $210,000 tournament right now. There's 121,000 people watching this guy's stream.
Wow. But don't forget.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't forget, like the point I was making is in Call of Duty, the action that happens is different every time.
Absolutely.
So you can be playing the same game, but you're generating new things that are happening every time. So it's refreshing for the viewer.
Do you know why Fortnite was created?
No.
It was created by, like, obviously they wanted to make a battle royale game, but the actual gameplay was designed to be a streamer's game.
Oh, really?
The dancing emotes, how you can gift outfits to streamers or players, like, everything is a premise around, you can create your own match where you put like all of your subs, like people that sub to your channel in a private game or in a group game, and you guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just your subs are in one map. Like, the whole Fortnite, I'm not a Fortnite guy. It's not for me at all. But the way they built that game was for streamers. And that's why it was so successful. Same thing with these battle royale games, because it's fast action. I'm
Yeah,
being Joey Diaz.
It's different.
Right. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
different every
you're
time.
you're diving in, and if you get murked right away, you're done. You play it again.
Right.
And there's breaks in between. So like So yeah, you're in the game right now and like you're going and you're like super concentrating, but then you die or the match is over and you win. You have, 3, 4, 5 minutes before the next game starts.
Right. Where you can
You know what I
engage your
mean?
chat and things like that.
So like yeah, you catch up on your chat. Like battle royale games are really a streamer's game, and I think part of it is that's why they're so popular.
I
Because
agree.
personally, I like the Call of Duty multiplayer more than I like the Warzone.
Yeah, I do too. But I like playing
And
it more.
yeah, and speaking of Call of Duty,
Dun dun
dude,
dun.
I've
Call
been
of Duty,
waiting all night to talk about this.
Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. The
Oh my
trailer just
god.
released this week, and
Oh my.
Marcus couldn't be more hyped.
So Call of Duty Black Ops 1 came out before SOTOR. I played, let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Let me find it. Let me click on it. So, Nick, you want to set the premise of this game?
Of Black Ops? Or
Yep.
sorry, Cold War. So it's a direct, like I said before, it's a direct sequel to the original Call of Duty Black Ops game. Um, I think you play as a different cast of characters similar to the first game. I know Woods is in it from the first game. Also, similar to Black Ops 2, there's branching story pathways that you can choose, and there's different endings depending on what you picked. So this is kind of why this is what prompted me to go back and say like, hey, I want to go replay Black Ops 1, not only because I want to, go through that story, but I also don't remember Black Ops 2 where like you could choose how the story goes, and I want to revisit that because that seems really interesting. And it's like it's just a cool setting, like that whole all the espionage stuff, and you're doing things like behind enemy lines. I think what I've gathered from the trailer is the majority of it is set in the 80s roughly, so it's cool to see like the 80s technology. It's like almost current but almost not. You're like you might have a cell phone, but it's a giant brick. You know, you don't
Yeah.
have the internet really yet, or if you do, it's really
There was no
primitive.
internet. No, there's no internet.
Yeah. Um, so you have like modern ish weaponry and guns and stuff, but no internet. So that's a kind of a
No, they have no modern anything.
well,
And
like the guns are like you still have an M16. You know what I'm saying? You're
that
not
came
shooting.
out. That was but the M16 was the issued rifle for Vietnam
I know.
in
I'm just
1960.
my
Whatever.
point. My point being, a lot of the weapons are similar, but you don't have a lot of the technology infused in them like you do today. That's kind of what I was trying to
Oh
get
right.
at.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what I liked about the original Black Ops and Black Ops 2 is there was no like running on walls and jetpacks and all that shit. I feel like when they changed Call of Duty to like have that like the Halo mechanics, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they were reaching. And now with Call of Duty Modern Warfare and now this, they're bringing it back to their roots, which I'm pretty excited for.
Yeah.
So, I looked on the Xbox, I had 400 hours on Black Ops 1, and then I had 764 hours on Black Ops 1 on the PC because that's when I got a computer.
Yeah.
So I have hundreds of hours in Black Ops,
That's
right?
crazy. Yeah.
And that was when Nuketown first,
First came out.
yeah, that was the game where Nuketown became a thing 10 years ago.
Wow. That's
So
insane.
So the setting, and I remember Black Ops 1, you went into like the White House bunker and JFK was there talking to you.
Oh
And
yeah.
and in the trailer, you had
The
the president of what year is this taking place?
like
Shit.
like the 60s roughly.
No, 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 no. It starts off in the 60s because you're in the story or in multiplayer, you're definitely going to be in Vietnam because
Oh yeah.
they showed it. So I feel like this is going to be over the course of years that bring you to the Cold War, or
Right.
maybe like the story is going to build up to that. You're going to have a couple missions where it
Right.
starts. Maybe it's Nixon. It might be Nixon. I forget.
Yeah, Nixon for Vietnam. Yeah, he's
No, no, no. For the storyline, who the president?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Reagan.
Oh, it's Reagan. That's right.
Yeah,
Nixon is in the beginning.
right. Nixon's in the beginning, and then later
Yeah.
Reagan features prominently. I
You're
think.
right. Exactly.
Which can I just comment on like the facial like tracing or whatever they call it for that? That looks pretty close to Reagan. which I thought I was pretty impressed with. I know
The
Call of Duty
graphics.
usually does a good job with that, of like making people look realistic, at
Mhm.
least their faces.
Right.
But
Um. So anyway, it showed a brief little preview of the multiplayer.
yeah,
Dude,
it looks so legit.
oh my god. I want to play this game, and like I always talk about cheating on SOTOR, right? But when this game comes out, other than my raid nights, I'm probably going to be playing this. This is my jam. If they bring back the feel of Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2, it's going to be game over for people. Like in the what's the Treyarch is the one who made Black Ops.
Yep.
Who what's the other company?
Infinity Ward? I don't know what it is
Yes.
now. It might be just
Yeah, Infinity. It's still Infinity Ward. Infinity Ward Call of Duties I was never great at, but the Treyarch ones, oh my god. Like my kill death was always like 2+. I was always good at the Treyarch games.
Yep.
I don't know what it was, maybe I don't know. But the Modern Warfare version or the Infinity Ward versions, I was never as good because they do play a little bit different.
I mean, yeah, I get you.
But I'm curious on the battle royale version because clearly they're not getting rid of Warzone because it's such a big moneymaker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see how how Warzone is going to look. Like, are they going to change the map? Because like Fortnite doesn't really change the map. Um, what's the other one? PUBG. They just make a new map and it rotates. So like, is there going to be a new map for it?
I'd imagine they'd have to make a new map. Although like I wonder if some of your like rankings in Warzone and things like that might carry over. I wonder if there's going to be some kind of Warzone carryover.
Well, there has to be. There
Yeah.
has to be because you can't create something like that and just every year it's gone, or it would be pretty ballsy to do that. I don't know. I don't know what their plan is, but the multiplayer reveal I think is September 9th.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're going to get more of an idea on the Warzone version at that point, maybe,
Right. Yeah.
or maybe they'll do their own Warzone. But you know what I just thought of, Nick?
What?
Treyarch was the one who released Zombies.
Yeah, with World at War.
Right. So, what if one of the patches, zombies go into Warzone?
Oh, they totally should. That would be
Like,
crazy. And all of a sudden, like they get not only is the circle enclosing, but there's more and more zombies floating around too that come at you.
well, maybe not more and more zombies come after you, but they're attracted to the gunfire. So, as the circle closes, they all are attracted to the center.
That's what I'm saying. Like you get more. Yeah, maybe that's the way to do it. But like more zombies close in with the circle.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant like more like hordes, because but at the same time, I would think they would have to be careful because if it's 1-on-1 and like you're about to win and all of a
There's a
sudden
zombie.
15 zombies just attack one guy and you win that way, I feel like that's a pretty cheesy win.
I agree. Yeah. Or
But it would be
if you
pretty
win,
sweet
then
as
you
if
have to survive for 30 seconds of zombies or something.
or in the first 5 minutes of the match there's zombies, so you open up a door to get a gun after you land and there's a zombie there. Oh my god, freak out.
That'd be awesome. I think they are definitely going to do something with that.
Definitely, because Apex Legends did something like that where they put like beasts on the map. There was like a dragon flying around at one point or something flying around, like you could die from other NPCs, not just
the players.
and I'd like to see what they do with the gulag. Like maybe you end up in like a Vietnamese torture camp,
Oh my
like jail,
That'd be cool.
like when you go to the gulag. And that is a really good, like Call of Duty really did the battle royale right.
I think it's the best battle royale so far. They took like bits and pieces of all the other ones and they made the best.
Yeah. Like Apex Legends is my favorite, but the Call of Duty one is the best.
I agree.
Because like Apex Legends, they give you like 4 bullets in your gun. You can't kill somebody with one clip on your gun, which I think is pretty weak sauce.
Yeah.
And yes, that makes it more mechanics heavy and you have to be more tactical. Like know that you have 8 shots and then you're going to have to switch to your other gun or you're just going to get murked. And I like that there's no fall damage in Apex Legends.
Yeah.
And I like the style of that sci-fi kind of look, but and I like the fact that like everybody can only pick one of the type of players. But in Call of Duty, what I like about the Warzone is that if you play the multiplayer and you make your what are they called, Nick? Loadouts.
Yep.
If you do that, then your loadouts, you can transfer those to your
To
Warzone
if you get
character.
a loadout drop, yeah.
Right, and you can go to a station to get the loadout drop, and then you get your gun. But here's the question. I already have my answer,
Okay.
Nick. When Black Ops Cold War comes out, will you uninstall Modern Warfare?
No. Oh, because of all the room. I mean, if I can get both on there, I won't. It depends, like, because so if Warzone. So let me two thoughts. Probably because it's so I probably don't have enough room, but I don't think you're gonna have to uninstall the Warzone portion of it because don't forget Warzone's free. It's a freestanding its own game in and of itself. So I would not be surprised if there's just a Warzone update and it's a new map that goes along with the Cold War. It just switches over to like the Cold War Warzone. And
Right.
that could be a way for the Warzone section to just keep going on and on and on through different iterations of the base Call of Duty game, if that makes sense.
But I'm pretty sure if you download Warzone only, you still have to download the whole game.
You might be right, but hey, maybe those files change over to from Modern Warfare
It's a good
to
call.
Black
Like
Ops.
for me, I'm totally uninstalling it because it's taking up 200 gigs. Like,
Right.
I mean, I have plenty of storage, but at the same time,
200 gigs is 200 gigs.
correct. It's time for it to, go.
I agree. Well, I think that's a good spot to wrap it up. What do you think? Or
This
did
is
you?
awesome.
What are you guys talking about in here?
Find out next episode of
Working Class Nerds.